Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome to the show. We're 8 minutes away from Ollie Marmol telling us, among other things, how he's going to handle the Adam Wainwright situation, with Wainwright getting blown up again in Kansas City, and start after start, it being a problem to get outs. I mean, quite simply, he just doesn't have what he used to have. We'll talk about that. We also have the Cardinals with a nice dramatic win yesterday. In the end, it was just, and we're going to get to the highlights here in a second, it was a lot of fun. And I know the Cardinals are out of the race, but there are a lot of things to watch right now, including marveling that you have Nolan Arenado on your team, Nolan Gorman on your team. So there's a veteran, and then a young Nolan who is going to be really good for a long time, Jordan Walker, et cetera, et cetera. I think there are some players who you can really build around here. And the pitching is going to be a project. I mean, they are very short on pitching, but Steven Matz looked good. Steven Matz looked really good. This is not a fluke. He is actually one of the best pitchers in baseball since the All-Star break, and he has just been terrific. So these are good signs, something I think, the Cardinals and their fans who hold this team to a high standard, and rightfully so. The goal should be to win a world championship, to hang the 12th every year. That should be the goal. That should be the goal of the fans and the organization. That's how this thing is built. So how do you get back to it? You must have 3 starters in this rotation. And as much as I loved Matthew Liberatore last week, and I've really been encouraged by Dakota Hudson, I believe that you have to have major league ready veteran starters. Let's go get it. Let's put this person out there for 6-7 innings and win and not worry about it. And it's easier said than done. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost players, but that's what the Cardinals have to do going into 24. And the proof was again last night. I mean, Steven Matz goes 6 innings and allows 2 runs. Boom. I mean, you're in position to win the game. This is a very complicated game at times, but the pieces that you put together aren't that hard to understand. Starting pitching has to be great. Bullpen needs some firepower. Got to get timely hits. Defense needs to field the ball. These are not easy things to accomplish and execute. Obviously, not a lot of teams can do it flawlessly. In fact, nobody can. Atlanta Braves are pretty close. But the Cardinals need to get back to it, and they have to get that pitching in place. And I think they're going to be, I'm going to hope that they're going to be aggressive in the offseason in pursuing that very thing. And we saw it last night. I mean, if you have pitching, starting pitching, everything else kind of falls into place. And even when the thing got hairy there in the end, the Cardinals still found a way to win the ball game because they have Nolan Arenado. He was just phenomenal. After missing a bare hand play in which that top spin got him, he came back the next play and just made a magnificent play. Let's get right to the highlights, and we're going to hear from Ollie Marmol in 5 minutes here on KMOX. Yesterday, Tommy Edmonds' wife, Kristen, celebrated a birthday. And you know what she asked her husband for? A home run. Second inning.
O'Neill gets a big lead. Tommy Edman hits it high and deep. That goes to left field. It's a gunner for Tommy Edman. 2-0 Cardinals in the second.
And the Cardinals gave the ball to Steven Matz.
The 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. Perez reaches for a high fastball. Matz gets his first strikeout.
Cards back at it in the third. Paul Goldschmidt with a base hit. Here's Nolan Arenado.
Pitch to Nolan is hit down the left field line. It's fair. It's going to go to the wall. Rounding third and scoring is Kisner. Heading to third base is Goldschmidt on the stand-up double for Nolan Arenado.
Arenado with another RBI. It's 3-0 Cardinals at that point. We all know about his all-world defense. You know, this guy can play some D2. Second base, Nolan.
1-2 pitch is hit into center field. No, it's caught by Gorman. What a play. He had good hops there. He jumped up, made the play at the top of his jump, and took a hit away from Matt Duffy.
I know we're all mesmerized by his power, but little by little, Nolan Gorman's become a pretty good fielder, and to me, he's your starting second baseman. We'll get to that later. This is an absolute missile on the Royals side.
Next pitch is a fastball, and that's hit sharply to left field. And backing up is Tyler O'Neill, and he runs out of room. That's going to hit into the water spectacular in deep left center field. A home run for Velasquez.
That ball went 441 feet off the bat of Velasquez, but that's all that Mats gave up. 2-run homer, and he also got some defense from Nolan.
Ready to go, and the pitch is hammered to the left side, caught by Arenado. He jumped up and made a play.
That was in the 4th inning. Cardinals with a 3-2 lead. You know who's had a nice little bounce back here at the plate? Wilson Contreras.
1-strike pitch, and that's wrapped into right center field, a base hit. Up with the ball, Velasquez trying to score. Nootbaar, the throw is cut off and over to third, and in safely at third is Arenado. Nootbaar scores on the hit by Contreras, and the Cardinals lead 4-2.
I don't think anyone should give up on Wilson Contreras, and I'm not sure that they are. He's a good hitter. He's a good major league player, and nobody is Yadier Molina. In fact, I don't think anybody realized what a big change that was going to be, the Cardinals included. And Contreras will fit in just fine if he does things like that too. An RBI single, the Cardinals led 4-2. But this game turned to a 4-2 game all the way until the 8th. And remember Tommy Edman's wife's request? Here he is again.
The 1-strike pitch, and that's hit deep. Left field. If it stays fair, that's a home run, and it's a goner. A 2-home run game for Tommy Edman. 5-2 Cardinals in the 8th inning.
Tommy Edman flashing some power. A couple of home runs for him, and the Cardinals take a 5-2 lead. But this game is not over. No, sir. The Royals score a run in the 8th to make it 5-3. The Cardinals can't add on in the top of the 9th. It's still a 5-3 ball game, and things start to unfold. And this is what happens sometimes. Actually, it seems like all year to the Cardinals when it comes to hits and contact. Little squibbers get through, little bloops drop, and the Cardinals in the 9th inning gave up a fly ball single to Freddie Fermin. Then Edward Olivares grounded into a force out. Edman to Gorman. Fermin's out at second. Here's Olivares standing at third. MJ Melendez singles to right, and it's first and third for Matt Duffy.
Doesn't go, and the pitch is grounded toward third. Slowly hit. Arenado can't barehand it. A run scores, and it's a 1-run game.
And it's like, really? This is going to happen to the Cardinals? Nolan says, yeah, hit me another one. I'll show you what's up. Listen to this call from John Rooney.
The runners lead at first and second base. 1 out. The infield at double play depth. The pitch is bounced to third. Arenado steps on third. Throws to first. Double play. Red Bird winner. How about that? The Cardinals hang on to win 5-4 in Kansas City, and a double play got the job done for JoJo Romero.
Folks, that is an unbelievable play. I mean, you need to see the video of it to understand how good that was. And Rooney with a great call there. He falls off balance and throws a perfect throw across the diamond to Paul Goldschmidt, one all-world player to another. Nolan Arenado with another one for the highlight reel, and the Cardinals win the ball game 5-4. After the game, Tommy Edman. We're going to hear that interview coming up in just a little while. But first, Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. He is next on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret. My unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. You'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no surgery, and no hypnosis. Call my office now at 314-207-8600.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. And you can do this. Real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Results may vary.
Hi, this is Margaret from Eamon Gantner in Capriano. In the last year, my family has changed. There's a new baby, a new fiance, and an empty chair where Graham used to sit. Family, health, wealth, it all changes. And my estate plan changes too. Eamon Gantner and Capriano works with me in all of my life's changes, adjusting strategies for when I'm here and when I'm not. What about you? Are there changes in your family? Do you have an estate plan? When was the last time you reviewed it with an attorney? Eamon Gantner and Capriano offers a free webinar where you'll learn more on legal strategies of wills and trusts. Check their website, yourestateMatters.com. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, your St. Louis estate and long-term care planning attorneys. Online at yourestateMatters.com. The choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisement.
Hi, my name is PJ Vogt. I host the podcast Search Engine, where every week I hunt down the answers to the questions I can't get out of my head. Like, why are drug dealers poisoning their customers with fentanyl? Or, is my local sushi restaurant a part of an international scam? Or, how sad are the monkeys at the zoo? If you, like me, find this world bewildering, but also sometimes enjoy being bewildered by it, check out the show on the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive.
He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win. Billikens win.
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Great to be with you in downtown St. Louis, and it is the time to visit with the Cardinals skipper. Let's turn things over to KMOX's Matt Pauley.
Tom, thank you. We are joined by Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. The Cardinals coming away with a win last night in Kansas City over the Royals 5-4 as they split that two-game series. Ollie, appreciate you taking some time with us today on a very rare Sunday off day. Let's start with last night and specifically the final play of the game. Nolan Arenado double play that he starts. He takes the ball well off the line, gets to third, gets the throw over to first. As that play is developing, what are you thinking? Are you thinking that that's going to be a double play?
With him at third, yes. But what an incredible play.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people make that, and how easy he made it seem. I mean, that's an extremely difficult play, an amazing way to end that game, but it just shows you what kind of third baseman we have.
Steven Matz had a pretty solid performance, and he's on a really good run here recently. Can you speak to the work that he's put in, really from the moment he got put in the bullpen after the tough start as a starter and everything he's done to get to this point right now? He's dropped his ERA by a full run over his last 6 starts.
He's done a really good job, and this is what we've been hoping to see out of Matsy. There's not a starter that wants to be told that they're going to the bullpen. Those guys usually don't take that well. It's something that they take hard, and he's responded extremely well by going back into the rotation and putting together a string of starts that have been really, really impressive. But man, it looks different. His demeanor's different. His conviction behind pitches, it's just all of it looks different, and he's getting the results that he's been wanting and the results that we need. But yes, he's done a really, really nice job.
When a Jordan Montgomery and a Jack Flaherty walk out the door, for him and for Miles, do they become that much more important even inside of the clubhouse just because they're the veteran guys in the rotation?
Yeah, and they know that. And they've talked about it. And they want to step up and make sure that we finish well. Every night, they've done a really nice job of getting together and making sure that this team stays focused on the game at hand. And we can't worry about what the past looks like. We can't worry about April and May. I mean, that's behind us. We just got to focus on each game. And those guys are doing a nice job with that.
You've talked about it, and it was specific to Matthew Liberator, but it probably applies to Dakota Hudson as well. Just the freedom that these guys can go out kind of knowing what their job is, knowing that they're going to be in there every 5th day. We saw a fantastic start from Libby earlier this week. Can you speak a little bit more to that, just what it allows them to do, maybe from a mental standpoint, knowing that that's their job and they're going to be in that rotation here for a while?
Yeah, I think it allows them to drop their shoulders a little bit and pitch and allow their ability to actually come through. I mean, it's tough when you're in a city that expects to win every single game. You don't have that long a leash to go out and not put together some good outings. For them to know, hey, you're going to get a shot at this. We want you to run with it, relax, drop your shoulders, and go pitch, I think has helped. But both of them have done an extremely nice job. And Libby, his last start, that was extremely impressive. We need to build off of that for sure.
How do you do that? What does it look like for these 4 or 5 days between starts to make sure that start wasn't just a flash in the pan, but he can really build off that, and that can start to become who he is on a consistent basis?
No, that's a really good question. And the 4 or 5 days leading into this start, he did a lot of work with our performance department and trying to figure out how to get a little bit more out of the fastball from a velo standpoint, and then hold it. And he was able to do that. So now it's a matter of staying with that routine and building off that routine. Is he going to go 8 every time out? No, but what we're looking for is when he has that extra 2 miles an hour. I mean, he was last outing 93 average fastball. This past outing, his average fastball was 95. And when guys have to gear up for that, it makes the secondary stuff that much better. If you look after the 5th or so, he started landing the curveball at a higher rate, which also helps. But the combination of those two things allow for more swing and miss. And when he gets swing and miss, he goes deeper in games. So it all goes hand in hand.
We're talking with Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. For players who don't have defined roles for next season yet, and Liberatore and Hudson are in that group, but there's some position players in that group. What do these 2 months do in terms of helping you and the rest of the staff in the evaluation process going into the offseason?
Yeah, you want to go into the offseason with clarity as to who can do what. And there's some guys stepping into roles right now, whether that be the bullpen. The reality is we don't have a Hicks. Helsley's not healthy. Stratton's gone. And the Burhagens of the world and some of the others are starting to take on roles that they didn't have in the past. And when you look at Jojo Romero, it's a perfect example of someone that's stepping into a role and showing what he's capable of doing. And he's done a really nice job, not only with his stuff, but mentality-wise and just taking the ball when needed. And that applies for some guys in the outfield as well. So this is a great time to continue to roll them out there and see how they help us win on a nightly basis and evaluate during that process as well.
The Adam Wainwright conversation is a really tough conversation to have, and he's an absolutely beloved Cardinal. He's really struggled his last 2 times out, but I don't think it's fair to not mention that his 2 times before that weren't bad. And, he was in line for a victory against Arizona. So it's been an up and down season for him. I know conversations are taking place. What can you say at this point, just in terms of where you guys are at with Wainwright?
Good question. And I was able to things, and this is a pro's pro. I mean, he is where he's at and what needs to take place, and it was an honest conversation. And the thing is, when I look back at last year, some of the honest conversations that I had with Albert during a time that he was struggling early on in the year, and to see him go out the last couple months, and what a fun ride that was. So we'll continue to evaluate Wayno. He's being honest with himself and with me. He'll take his next start. And after that start, we'll sit back down and see where we're at. But he will start while we're at home.
I want to word this next question correctly. I host the post-game show, so I hear from fans after every single game, and they're calling into me. And a lot of fans say things that I disagree with. And one of those things is there's a contingent of fans out there that feel like there's selfishness going on with Wainwright when he goes out in search of 200. I don't agree with that. I know that you don't agree with that, but there's some fans who think that. So if you were in my job, if you're hosting the postgame show and a fan says that, what's your response to that?
Nah, I wish they could be in the room with myself and Wayno today and listen to the type of conversations that are taking place, because that's far from it. His chase for 200 isn't for 200. He's really trying to help this team win. If you talk to Wayno, he truly believes that there's still a run in this team. And then let's just see what September looks like. But he's not just chasing 200. He's trying to figure out a way to go out there and compete and just help this team win. He's realistic with where he's at and the stuff coming out of his hand at the moment. He's not happy with it. but to call him selfish, that's yeah, I definitely disagree with it.
Last couple things for you before we get you out of here off the beaten path a little bit. When you've got downtime and maybe you're sitting on your couch and you're flipping through the channels, what's the team in baseball that if they're on TV that you're going to stop and watch?
Man, rarely do I turn on the TV, but if I'm watching Atlanta, that's a pretty impressive team at the moment. From the way they pitch to 1 through 9 and what they do offensively is extremely impressive and put together. So yeah, I would say that's one of the teams that if they're playing, you stop and watch.
The last Sunday day off for the Cardinals was in 1995. These don't happen very often. What is on your to-do list on a very rare Sunday off day?
I'll probably take the 2 little ones swimming, and then we have a Make-A-Wish charity event later on in the evening that my wife and I will participate in.
Well, Ali, thank you so much for taking this time. Great win last night in Kansas City, and we'll see you at the ballpark this upcoming week.
Appreciate you, man. Seriously, thank you.
Tom, that's Oliver Marmol, the Cardinals manager, as we continue on here on Sports on a Sunday Morning. Back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Thanks to Ollie. Good on Ollie to spend some time giving back to the community tonight on his off day with his wife, Amber, and saying in that interview that Adam Wainwright will make his next start. He told Matt Pauley he will start while we're at home. Now, he is listed as a probable pitcher for Thursday against the Mets. Ollie confirming that he is going to make his next start. So they're sticking with him at the start of the rotation. It's 10:28. It's Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from the SLU women's soccer coach, Katie Shields. They are about to start their season, and they're going to play a nationally ranked opponent right out of the gate. We'll tell you who that is and what to expect from this terrific squad. That's next on KMOX.
KMOX Enter Service Weekend, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. Saturday, August 19th, the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
John Michael Montgomery. Live. The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Rye. Friday, October 20th at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you use a rideshare service, you're putting your life in the hands of a stranger to get you safely where you need to go. But sometimes tragedies occur. And when they do, big companies like Uber and Lyft are often impossible to deal with on your own. We know how to hold these companies accountable. When you've been involved in a car crash or been a victim of assault, we're here to protect you.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neovitin Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neovitin Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neovitin Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jules on Hampton your first stop. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive.
He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Sports on a Sunday morning continues, and it is that time. Soccer season for St. Louis University, and the women's program is run by Katie Shields. The coach joins us now. How are you, Coach? Great to talk to you again.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Tom.
Absolutely. What a time this is, getting yourself going again. Do you have nerves, excitement, all of that together as you embark on a new season?
I think it's all together. You know, no matter the year, the experience, you're always going to have some nerves, but a tremendous amount of excitement with this group.
What an accomplishment you've had through the years. I know you always want to go further, but it has been some run for this team, in particular in the Atlantic 10.
It has, you know, coming off 5 championship years, very much wanting number 6 this year and excited to keep growing our kind of national profile out there.
What is the latest with this team? What do you see when you get them out in practice?
They are, first and foremost, they're competitors. They come out, they work hard, they're ready to get after it every day. We've got a great blend of returners and newcomers, and everyone's got something special to their game. So it's our job as coaches to really try and just blend it together and build the chemistry. But we've got a really, really seasoned but an excited young group.
Let me run through your resume. So we're talking 9 starters, 8 additional players from last year's team that, as Katie said, made a 5th consecutive NCAA tournament appearance, number 2 national seed, top 10 ranking in all 3 national polls, 5th straight A10 tournament title, won the regular season title for the 4th time in 5 seasons. They were 20-2 overall, 10-0 in conference play, and led the nation in winning percentage at 91%, but also goals per game. You were a team that scored just about 3 a game, Coach.
We were, and that led the nation. And I believe we can maybe outdo ourselves this year with that.
Well, why do you say that? What do you see in the team from that standpoint?
We return a lot of that. A lot of those goals are back, you know, and they've grown, they've improved in the off season. And then I think we've added some new talent. We got some players back from injury that were out last year as well. So I think we're going to be difficult to defend because we can score in a lot of different ways.
In particular, Lindsay Heckel, can you tell me about the 2022 All-American who was the first SLU women's soccer player to earn a place on the All-America first team?
Yeah, so our first team All-American, a Herman Trophy semifinalist. She actually plays center back for us, but is one of our high scorers out of the center back, especially on corner kicks. And just to have through our spine, we actually returned 3 All-Americans. We're the only program in the country that does, and they all play, one in the goal, one in the center back, and one in the deep midfield. So to have that foundation and trust also allows us to take a lot of risk going forward. But Lindsay she's one of the best in the country, and she's shown up ready to go this year.
Abby Miller is a midfielder, second team, and a 2-time A10 midfielder of the year. What does she bring to the table?
Abby just gives us stability. She lets everybody, she does a lot of the dirty work, wins a lot of challenges for us, sets play, and she really kind of is the backbone that lets then everybody else go from there. So excited to have Abby for another year in the midfield.
And you mentioned your goalkeeper, 3rd team All-American, Emily Percelli. And you got to have a great one in the back, don't you? You
do. She keeps us in big games, gives us chances to win big games because She makes saves. She makes them every day in practice, makes them in games, but they still put my jaw on the floor some days. And she just provides also a real calming presence, I think, for our team, and her experience back there is, you can't put a price on what she gives us. So excited to have her in the goal, and we've got a good, really good goalkeeping group as a collective.
I'm glad you mentioned that. My daughter is a lacrosse goalie in high school at Ladue High School, and one thing I told her was, it is more than just saves. You want to be a leader on that team and a calming presence. You mentioned that about Emily. You want your teammates want to play well in front of you.
They do, and they trust her. They know she has their backs, but there's never a moment too big for them, and I think that's a special quality in a goalkeeper.
Here's the other thing is that those three you just mentioned, Lindsay, Abby, and Emily, are all local products. What a big part of what you're trying to build. I know you're looking around nationally always, but we have so much talent here.
Always, and a lot of our success comes from St. Louisans. We're proud to represent the city, proud to play in front of top 10 crowds here at home. And so, from our standpoint, we want to make this the destination for anyone to come play college soccer, but the no-brainer destination for St. Louis's best. And those three are shining examples, but our roster is a collection of them in a lot of ways.
This is Katie Shields, head coach at St. Louis University. You mentioned the home atmosphere. That's Herman Stadium. Going back to the final home game of the 2015 season, this is an unbelievable record at home, 62-7-6. What do you attribute that to? I mean, the familiar surroundings. Does the crowd play a part in that?
Absolutely. We've been in the top 20 in attendance, I believe, the last 4 years, top 10 last year. And so to have that home crowd, I think there's a familiarity. There's an absolute pride in playing at home and, defending our home grounds. And we really have the fans, the community. Our program has made Herman Stadium one of the toughest places to come play a college soccer game. And that's exactly the way we want it to be.
I'm hearing good things about the O'Loughlin Family Champions Center. How is that coming along?
Oh, man, it's beautiful. I got a peek in there late July. It's from the renderings, everyone's excited, but you set foot in there, and it's magnificent. I mean, it really is going to be a game changer for all the women in our program, all Billiken student athletes, and we're ticking down the days till it opens. So really excited to add that community building space into our program.
I got to get Chris May to give me a tour. I got to get myself a hard hat.
You do. It's something special. You got to get your hard hat on, but it's coming to fruition really nicely.
Yeah, I need to get in there. How close are all of you, the coaches, within other programs?
It's something special, I think, about SLU is that, we all share, we're all in the same office building. And so there's just an organic closeness, but then, I think there's just tremendous respect across the way every coach runs their program, how they do it, and we all stealing from one another, learning from one another. And I just think it is one of the kind of secret sauces to Billiken athletics.
Now, I've known Travis Ford for a long time, but I've also become close here the last year with Rebecca Tillett because I do call the women's games on radio, and she is building something really special there. She herself won an A-10 title. She goes in and wins the A-10 tournament with that group.
Man, she did something that took us 5 years, or 6, I got to say, when I got here. And so Rebecca, she's a consummate teacher. It's her background. I have tremendous respect for people that come out of the classroom, into the game, because I just think they're the best at what we do and how they're able to teach young people, inspire them, motivate them. And so Rebecca's absolutely somebody I'm learning from, stealing from on a daily basis.
Another thing, and another personal note of mine is I coach 7th grade girls basketball coming up this year. We've taken them through 5th and 6th and now 7th, and I love every second of it. What I really love is that they are empowered to play, that they have grown up knowing that they have the opportunity to play and they've known nothing else. And I attribute that to a lot of things. Obviously, Title IX was just celebrated its 50th year. But even though they just lost, Katie, the U.S. women's national team actually has a lot to do with that across a lot of sports, I think. Do you agree?
Oh, they're the trailblazers. We're all standing on their shoulders, and The world. I mean, they've set the standard, a gold standard for the world with our women's national team. To be world champions 4 times, it's just remarkable, the excellence and the elite performers that have come through that program. And soccer's a cruel game. It was a millimeter, but all of us, I think, we aspire to be and to create environments as elite as what our women's national team have done.
This is Katie Shields. Final thing for you. I'd ask you about your schedule, but I know, coaches, you're looking already at right away, and you're going to be in the national spotlight right away. You'll play BYU on August 17th. That's one of only 3 opening night games matching opponents who are nationally ranked.
We're excited. It's a new opportunity this group has earned to go, out of region, non-conference, play a top 25. BYU's number 13 in the preseason poll. So grateful to Chris May and our administration for allowing us to have these opportunities. BYU is typically the top of the country in attendance, so it'll be a raucous crowd at altitude, and we'll know what we've got coming out of that. And these are the games you dream of playing, you want to be a part of. So excited to kick off the season in that manner.
The 3-time A10 Coach of the Year is Katie Shields of St. Louis University Women's Soccer. Thanks very much for joining us on KMOX. We look forward to the season.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you having us.
We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back with much more right here on KMOX right after this.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned.
Websites and social media selling fake medicines may look legitimate, but they're not.
He died in less than 15 minutes after taking the pill.
Any medication not purchased from a licensed pharmacy could be deadly.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Learn about fake medicine on social media and if an online pharmacy is safe.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Carol Daniel for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. My goodness, these temperatures we have faced this summer have been no joke. Well, when the temperatures heat up, you can cool them down with the comfort of the structured louvered roof pergola system built by the proud craftsmen at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. You get to still enjoy the outdoors with the amazing technology of the louvered roof system. With a click of a remote control or an app on your phone, you can open, close, slant, or slide the louvers, blocking out the sun and giving you cooler shade. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck and set up your free consultation and free project design. Maybe you want a new deck, maintenance-free fence, or this beautiful pergola I'm talking about. Learn more online, chesterfieldfence.com. Call in August, 636-532-4054. Mention my name, Carol Daniel, and get 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle? That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Luke Combs here, and I have an exclusive opportunity for you to win $500,000 with the Living Lucky with Luke Combs Lottery Experience. Join me in Nashville for a private concert at the iconic Ryman Auditorium. One lucky winner will win $500,000 at the end of the show. Y'all feeling lucky? Enter today.
Enter your Living Lucky with Luke Combs Scratchers tickets at MoLottery.com for a chance to win a private concert experience and a chance at $500,000. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery and play responsibly.
Over 30 years ago, it was that can-do spirit which helped the founder of Reinhold Flooring start the business, installing Reinhold quality carpet and beautiful flooring himself. Now, Reinhold Flooring is still family-owned and operated and winning St. Louis Magazine's best flooring store 2 years in a row. With Reinhold Flooring, it's not about the sale, it's about the amazing floor to perfectly match your house and your life. Customer driven since day one. Visit reinholdflooring.com. With so many ideas you can do it with the can-do crew at Reinhold Flooring. ReinholdFlooring.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive.
He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
It's 10:46. Great to be back with you on this mostly cloudy Sunday morning here in St. Louis, but the temperature's not too bad. We've had some blazing hot days. 83 and cloudy at 10:46 works for me. Let's welcome in Brian Barnhart, the voice of the Fighting Illini, back on KMOX. How are you, Brian?
Hey, Tom. Good to be on with you. It's nice and sunny up here.
Oh, yeah?
So
How are things going? How do the Illini look?
Well, they look pretty good. I think people are excited. They just passed 10,000 new season tickets from last year. And Brett Bielema made note of that. He actually called the person who was the 10,000th new season ticket holder and in a team meeting and FaceTimed him with the team. So that was pretty cool. And then they had local media day here yesterday, and I think people are excited that football's 3 weeks out.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure that we spent some time talking about the Illini on KMOX, as you have a big audience here, but we want you here. When are the Illini going to come back and play a game here? Let's go.
Yeah, those were great games. Unfortunately for Illinois, they didn't win any of those, but there was some pretty exciting ones. Juice Williams and some of the other teams that came through there. But unfortunately, I guess it won't be in St. Louis, but I know we're playing Missouri here in years to come, kind of a home and home deal. So that'll be nice to do that again.
Yeah, it'll be good to see those teams. Those teams should play as often as possible. I think you could take them this time. I mean, I really do. I think that it would be a great game. I mean, I think both teams actually are similar. I talked about it earlier this morning on KMOX. I think you have Mizzou has a very good defense, questions at quarterback, and I think you could say the same about Illinois, couldn't you?
Yeah. Up front, Illinois will be as good as anybody I think around with Johnny Newton and Keith Randolph, the law firm as they've endearingly been called up here, and so those guys leading the front seven. Seth Coleman and a lot of guys returning. I guess the question mark on defense will be in the secondary because, as you know, Tom, they lost 3 guys to the NFL, and they're going to have to replace those guys, including, Devin Witherspoon, who was a first-round pick with the Seahawks. So, that's probably the question mark on the back end. But if they get so much pressure up front, which I think they can, that may help those guys out. And at quarterback, you're right. Luke Altmaier comes in. Transfer from Ole Miss. It's interesting. He's an interesting story, Tom, because he grew up in Starkville, Mississippi, at Mississippi State, basically, but went to school at Ole Miss, and now he's at Illinois. And he's probably got the job for now. But Donovan Leary and a young man behind him as well that transferred in from Ball State, Paddock, 2 guys that are competing with him for the job. But Altmaier's probably got it to lose it, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks of camp go.
And you've lost, obviously, some really good players at running back. So, you got to be able to run the ball in Brett Bielema's offense, don't you? He loves to get behind those big offensive linemen.
Well, his history has been big offensive linemen, and we've got, several of those guys back, Isaiah Adams and Julian Pearl on the left side, who many people feel are NFL draft picks. And then Zy Chrysler's back for a second year, and Josh Kreutz at center is a really high-quality center. And so they can fill that right guard spot, which they think they can. They're going to have a good offensive line, defensive line we mentioned. And, of course, they have to replace Chase Brown. And as the season went on, I think he rushed for 1,600 yards. They're going to have to replace him. And it's probably going to be by committee. Reggie Love, I think, will be in the mix. Josh McCray, who was hurt part of last year. Young man from nearby Arthur, south of Champaign and Douglas County, Caden Fagan, is a big, strong, bruising running back. And then Aiden Laufrey is a kind of a speedster. So my guess is those 4 will be in the mix at running back. But I think the one thing they want to try to avoid, and it worked out fine last year because they used Chase so much, but try not to rely on just one back because that was a lot of carries for Chase last year.
This is Brian Barnhart, the voice of the Fighting Illini. Illinois opened the season last year against my Indiana Hoosiers and lost. I don't see Indiana winning their opener this time. They're going to play at home against Ohio State. on 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. That could be pretty much a wake. Although Indiana's played them tough, I just don't see it. Ohio State's on a mission. Watch out for Toledo now. They play Saturday night. It'll be in Champaign. It's a 6:30 kickoff. I think Illinois should handle the ball game, but Toledo's pretty good, aren't they? I mean, they'll get some votes in the polls.
Yeah, they've won a lot of games in the MAC in recent years, and they are a team that you don't want to go to sleep on here in this first game. And I don't think they will, but you're right. Those first games are it's a little nebulous at the beginning of when you go from practice to actually go lining up against somebody else, and then you're facing somebody who's with a program that's had a lot of success in recent years, and you can't just show up and win. So, but they're pretty locked in, I think, and they'll be ready for the Rockets. I think the even bigger game the next 2 weeks will be the game at Kansas, which was set up several years ago when both Kansas and Illinois were struggling, and now they're two pretty good programs, and that'll be on the road in Lawrence. And then the home game, the big noon kickoff, national TV with Penn State. So to me, those are the two big games early that could be the difference between a team that wins 6 or 7 games and one that wins 8, 9, or 10.
I do like this schedule for you. I mean, you don't have Michigan, you don't have Ohio State. You do have a tough schedule. There's no doubt the Big Ten is a gauntlet, but if you do get by Kansas, boy, that Penn State game could be fun, at least the hype going into it. We know how good Penn State is. I think the biggest thing, Brian, and you would agree with me, is that Illinois has to find a way to win those close games. There were a lot of games that were very, very close. To their credit also, they do win some close games, but mostly their games are very tight.
They are, and that's been the trademark so far in Brett Bielema's 2 years so far. Even in the year they didn't have a winning season, they lost a lot of close games. They were in every game. The difference was last year they won a lot of those close games, but everybody will tell you, from players to coaches to everybody else, they started 7-1. They were 7-1 entering November, and then they finished 1-4 if you include the bowl game. And that's kind of sticking in their craw. They want to finish this time in November and win the close game against Michigan State that they lost, and win the close game with Purdue that they lost that really cost them the Big Ten West championship. They had it in their hip pocket and it slipped out.
Yeah, it did. I think this Illinois team is really good. I don't know if I'd put them in the top 25, but I think they're close. I don't think they'll be in the top 25 when it comes out tomorrow, Brian, but I do think they're going to be a little closer than people think. And I eventually they'll knock on the door and get back in there.
I think they will. I agree. I think they'll be close. They probably will get some votes. I've seen different individuals on Twitter, kind of pre-posted what their vote is. And there's, a guy here that has Illinois 25th and other guys that have them right outside. So I think you're right on. I think it's in that vicinity of receiving votes here at the start. But if they win a couple and then you go into Penn State ranked at home with that home game here, I think that could be a real boost.
I can't let you go without talking a little hoops. And how does this basketball team look? I mean, are we seeing another changeover with some talent? I mean, he just continues to reload as far as I can see.
Yeah, he does. And, with the transfer portal, everything is anew, as we know. People come and go. But, Terrence Shannon coming back was huge. Coleman Hawkins coming back was huge. And then you've added some really outstanding freshmen. You've also added, and I think the thing that Brad wanted to do from last year's team was add some experience. And he's got some older guys. He's got some 22, 23, 24-year-old guys on the team now who played at different schools around that I think are really going to, help this team, a transfer from Oregon. And there's a couple of others. So they've actually been on a trip to Spain. And here's the interest in Illinois basketball, Tom. They played 3 games in Spain. There was a game in Valencia, Spain the other day, middle of the day, I think noon. And they announced there was going to be a stream available from the Valencia, Spain folks. And there were like 3,000 people watching on the stream on a game in August in Spain, a game that, didn't really matter. I mean, other than just, seeing what, a tune-up, just getting guys out there and trying different lineups, and over 3,000 people were watching. So there's a lot of passion there. They were afraid the site was going to crash, but it survived.
Well, they're great fans, and I grew up a Mizzou fan, so I hated them, but I love them at the same time, if that makes sense. I appreciate their passion and always admired that passion. That's just classic Big Ten basketball watching right there. Let me ask you one more. We got a minute, but Marcus Damask, I know, is sidelined right now with a hamstring injury. What, for those listeners down in this part of the state, they know how good he is. What kind of addition could he be?
Oh, he could be huge. I mean, A, he's older. B, he's an experienced guy, a scorer. He knows he's. I think he's going to fit in really nicely with this team, and that's one of the guys that, as I mentioned, that's coming in with a lot of experience, which is something I think. While we had a couple of guys like that last year, I think that's just going to make for a better team overall. I'm expecting big things from him. I've talked to our buddy Mike Reese about him, and he just raves about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the court.
Yeah, he does everything well. I think you're going to have some fun with that team, and I look forward to it. And thanks for talking football with us. I'm excited about football. We are under 2 weeks from college football season starting. You will start on Saturday night, September 2nd. Against Toledo. Looking forward to that. And thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it, Tom. Always good to talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Voice of the Illini, Brian Barnhart on KMOX.
I feel like I should call him.
Why would you call him now? Everything's working beautifully.
Jerry Kelly is St. Louis's favorite heating and cooling company. Mine too. They make me happy and comfortable every day. That deserves a phone call once in a while.
Jerry Kelly's your favorite because they're fast.
They're my favorite because they got it going on.
Nope. They're our favorite because they're good. Since they fixed it, it has stayed fixed.
I still feel like I should call.
Why don't you just visit
JerryKelly.com? Everything is gone.
American Red Cross disaster responders are in Hawaii helping those impacted by the tragic wildfires.
There's nothing left.
You too can help. To make a gift to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief, visit redcross.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or text Red Cross to 90999.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey today.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Yeah, I know, but the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct too?
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry. It's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, would he look like me?
No.
Go where everyone else goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Well, what if I shaved?
Still no.
For store hours, directions, and more, go to diamondsdirect.com.
If power outages are putting a damper on your day, Reinhold Electric has your back. Their professional electrical services can handle emergency repairs, and they can offer backup generators to keep your home or business running smoothly no matter how severe the storms are. They understand the importance of uninterrupted power for commercial properties, storefronts, restaurants, retirement communities, and your home. Get a quote for a permanent solution or a quick connection box. 314-631-1158. 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Get your sports fix with a Gray Bar Sports Open Line.
Welcome into the program. It is a Gray Bar Sports Open Line. My name's Matt Pauley.
Matt talks everything Cardinals.
When you look at the team for next year and you compare it to what they have in place right now that can be usable next year, I think it's pretty clear. Top two pitchers next year, probably not on the team right now.
Plus, you get the latest sports news, special guests, and so much more. The Gray Bar Sports Open Line. Non-Cardinal game nights beginning at 6 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX. KMOX KECK HD2 St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis. This is KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Those devastating wildfires in Maui have claimed 93 lives. This man is looking for missing family members.
I would like to find the Quijano family, Coloma family, and Villegas families, which is 3 days now that everybody's looking for them.
At a shelter for those displaced by the wildfires.
We're here for now, there's supplies here and whatnot. Like these clothes, this is was all given to us, donations. Yeah, so it's just it's all we got now is our car and our belongings inside of it.
How did things get so bad so fast in Maui? CBS's Carter Evans reports.
Questions remain about the cause of the fire, and the state's attorney general is now investigating the response.
There are studies showing that exactly this type of fire could have happened in Lahaina. What has been done to prepare for and prevent a fire like this from occurring?
This is the first time we've ever experienced a wildfire in the context of these dry conditions, global warming, and with a hurricane that's just passing us. There's no question this catastrophe is going to change the way everyone looks at fire across the globe.
Former President Trump could soon face more indictments, this time in the Georgia election interference case. CBS's Christina Ruffini has the story.
On social media, Trump lashed out at the Fulton County, Georgia DA, calling her racist and phony Fani Willis. Willis is expected to file separate election interference charges by the end of the month.
Did you intend to overturn the 2020 election?
You know the answer to this.
Trump has already been indicted in 3 other criminal cases. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden's business dealings. Maryland Democratic Representative Jamie Raskin spoke about that on ABC this morning.
Well, obviously, it's bumpy, and this side or that side doesn't necessarily prefer this course of events. But our job, I think, as political people is to allow the justice system to run its course.
Striking actors, writers, and others united yesterday in Burbank, California. KCBS TV's Lauren Posen was there.
Members from both the WGA, SAG-AFTRA, along with other unions in the entertainment community, came together for the first ever Drive for Solidarity fundraiser Saturday to lift each other up during the dual strikes.
You see those well-known actors and you're like, oh, all actors are like that. And it's no, they're not. A lot of them are working people who are just trying to make ends meet.
A brief evacuation yesterday at the Eiffel Tower after a bomb threat. Alex Evans was visiting from the UK.
It's a little bit scary, but I mean, it is a city and that's where they are going to set bombs off if they're going to do it because it's summertime and there's loads of people here.
This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:03, we have mostly cloudy skies and 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story, despite warning signs not to swim in Rockford Beach in Jefferson County, the fast-moving water has taken the life of an inexperienced swimmer. High Ridge Fire Protection Chief John Barton says Rockford Beach has always been dangerous.
We've always warned against swimming there. In the last 9 years, we've had 5 drownings at that location. The park has become a lot busier.
You might remember a couple weeks ago, the park was shut down 2 weekends in a row. It was overwhelmed with people, and first responders were unable to get inside if there was a problem. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed the Firearm Industry Responsibility Act.
That includes gun manufacturers and sellers who knowingly cause harm due to unsafe marketing practices.
Pritzker says this holds those who are nefarious in the gun industry accountable.
Who market guns to children under the age of 18. Or who promote guns referencing illegal use, like showing an ad of someone using a gun for paramilitary purposes.
KMOX political analysts Hancock and Kelly have thoughts on the new gun control law. Democrat Michael Kelly on Total Information AM Sunday.
I think Governor Pritzker and the Democrats in Illinois are expressing the frustration we have. What's unconscionable and wrong is how many people are dying from guns on our streets.
And Republican John Hancock.
A gun is a legal product. Companies manufacture them. You know, are you going to sue automakers because a car runs over somebody?
Both men expect the law will be tested in court as to its constitutionality. Today's the day for the 3rd annual St. Charles Jewish Festival. The hours are now from now until 2:30 outside the Foundry Arts Center on North Main. Organizers say the festival celebrates Jewish life and culture by bringing Jewish sights and sounds from around the world to St. Charles. Free tickets available at jewishstcharles.org. Weather should cooperate for that event. Later on, we could have some heavy thunderstorms, flooding downpours, or possible gusty winds and hail, a high of 81. Most of that in the metro region will be tonight. And then maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow morning with a high of 81. Tuesday, very pleasant, high of 77. Right now it's 81 in St. Peters, 80 in Florissant, and we have 83 degrees downtown. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
We welcome you back to the show, and let's go out to Indianapolis. We have a lot of things going on this hour. Soccer with Lutz Pfannenstiel. We'll take some Cardinals phone calls. We'll hear about the APGA event that was in St. Louis. The winner of that wire-to-wire, Chase Johnson, visiting with Dan Reardon. Right now, we are just about to see NASCAR fire up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where they ran some IndyCar yesterday. And Chris Blair is general manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway. A little road trip for you.
Oh, yeah, we're up here right down Gasoline Alley, same place I called you from for the Indy 500 a few months ago. But, yeah, it's going great. Big news here today. Kyle Larson just announced he's running the Indy 500 next year and the Coca-Cola 600 same day, 1,100 miles, hopefully. So that was the big news that none of us really saw coming. So that's pretty exciting.
That is big.
On.
Larson is one of the best drivers in the world. So here he goes at it again. He is something else, isn't he?
Yeah, he just won the Knoxville Nationals in sprint cars last night up in Knoxville, Iowa for a $175,000 win. So he's on a hot streak, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. So yesterday's race I watched, and I saw Scott Dixon edge out Graham Rahal in a thrilling pass there on the final few laps. What did you think?
Oh, man, it was exciting just from the very start, that race. You know, it was great seeing Graham rebounding. It's his first pole, I believe, in 6 years. So seeing Graham coming on hot, that's great. Good that team is coming back after failing to qualify for the Indy 500, back in May. So that gives them some momentum coming into our race here in a couple of weeks. And Graham, I think he's better on ovals than he is on road courses. So that's great to see. Maybe we can see somebody break up the momentum of Joseph Newgarden, who's won the last 5 races on ovals.
Yeah, Newgarden with an early exit yesterday. He's okay, though, right? He's supposed to be in town, I think, this coming week.
Yeah, he's actually in town doing a media tour for the Bommarito 500 starting tomorrow. But yeah, he's in good shape. It did hurt his points standings a little bit. It's going to be tough for him to catch Alex Palou. But again, Joseph, he's won at our place 4 times, and he's won really the last 5 oval races. So if there was ever a chance for him to swing for the fences and get that last shot, our racetrack will be the one that can do that for him.
I'm going to come over and see Joseph tomorrow before I head to the ballpark, so I'm looking forward to that tomorrow afternoon. This is Chris Blair, General Manager, Worldwide Technology Raceway. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 is Sunday, August 27th at 2:30. You and I have talked about this. I've been in a partnership with the track for some time now, Curtis Francois and your great staff, and I've enjoyed watching the development of NASCAR and how that took hold this community. But to be quite honest, IndyCar has been a stalwart. I mean, IndyCar has been there and has been strong for a while, hasn't it? Even through the pandemic.
Even through the pandemic. This is a big move for us. We've traditionally been a Saturday night race, but we saw that opportunity to be on the main NBC network. I think we're the only major sporting event originating from St. Louis this year that'll actually be on NBC network, and maybe the only one on any of the major networks. So we're pretty excited about that. It's a great way to showcase St. Louis and everything that we have going on. So that's going to be good. Ticket sales are strong. We have the USAC Silver Crown race running that same day. So we're really giving the fans a lot of racing in a very short window of time on that Sunday afternoon.
And you have a lot of stuff going on Saturday, right? Including qualifying and practice.
Yeah, qualifying and practice, plus the Indy Next Series, which is formerly known as Indy Light. And they had an incredible race here on Friday at IMS. Levi Jones, who used to live over in Swansea, Illinois, he's now running that particular series for IndyCar and doing a tremendous job with it. There's a lot of growth, a lot of new teams, and the racing has been absolutely spectacular. So both Saturday and Sunday, full days of racing. And we're going to be making some announcements this week about some music add-ons that's going to be coming along for that race as well. So it's another one of those, more than just a race, it's also a party at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
I like it. Last thing, Chris, who is joining us from Indianapolis, what are they saying about us? Because I know a lot of them come over, and throughout this region, they come over to watch IndyCar here. But what are they saying? I mean, they're the kings, after all, about your track.
Oh, everybody's just raving about the racetrack and all the changes and improvements. The the new Gateway Garage experience. When the IndyCar drivers saw what we had in place during the NASCAR race, which we unveiled then, they're all really excited about it. And a lot of fans are wanting to come see what we're doing different every year. Curtis Francois, the owner, just keeps making improvements, and the fans love to see it. They look forward to coming back, and so do the drivers.
Well, when I saw you were in Indy, I wanted to make sure I got you on the air for a few minutes because it's always great to have my motorsports reporter, Chris Blair, on the show. You're the best, man. Thanks for everything that you do, and I appreciate you joining me from Gasoline Alley.
All right, we'll see you at the races in just 2 weeks.
I'll see you at the track. I'll be over there tomorrow. There's Chris Blair, General Manager, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Big race coming, Bommarito Automotive Group 500 on August 27th, 2 weeks from today. Also, finally, they are back at it. That will be 1 week from today, and that is St. Louis City SC. They'll be playing Austin, the team they opened with this season. Now they get them in their house after stealing one down there. First place City. We'll talk to Lutz Pfannenstiel. He is the sporting director for City, and we'll be back right after this.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Now, Y98 presents 90 and 60. A look back at St. Louis City's match in Leagues Cup play against Club America. Presented by Ponce Health Sciences University. Creating new pathways and careers in healthcare.
Martin able to get it outside. Parker and Co racing back. It's fed to Quinones in the spot. Quick header, and it's just a little wide. Pompeo into the box now. Right foot. Oh, another save by Malagone. Diving effort. Smacked out towards Stroud, but he could not get to the ball before it's cleared by Club America. Club America gets a steal. Alvarez was the intended recipient, but the ball slips back. He gets banged home by Zendejas. And that will make it 4-0 Club America. Club America 4, St. Louis City SC nothing.
This has been 90 and 60, presented by Ponce Health Sciences University. St. Louis City returns to the pitch August 20th when they face Austin. Together Credit Union pregame at 8, kick at 8:30 on Y98 St. Louis.
Aspiring to be a doctor? Didn't score well on the MCAT? Gain all the confidence you need to succeed at Ponce Health Sciences University. PHSU west of City Park on the corner of Jefferson and Market prepares students for every aspect of a medical career. A Master of Sciences in Medical Science degree. An MSMS from Ponce prepares students for the coursework, the time commitment, and the rigor for a future in healthcare. Learn more at stlouis.psm.edu. That's stlouis.psm.edu.
Over 30 years ago, it was that can-do spirit which helped the founder of Reinhold Flooring start the business, installing Reinhold quality carpet and beautiful flooring himself. Now, Reinhold Flooring is still family-owned and operated and winning St. Louis Magazine's best flooring store 2 years in a row. With Reinhold Flooring, it's not about the sale, it's about the amazing floor to perfectly match your house and your life. Customer-driven since day one. Visit ReinholdFlooring.com. With so many ideas you can do it with a can-do crew at Reinhold Flooring. ReinholdFlooring.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Hey, it's Joel Rauch, owner of Iguana Marine Group. There's still time to enjoy your summer on the water, and we're loaded with inventory for immediate delivery. With a Godfrey Tri-Tune, you'll be the envy of the water. Right now, save up to $45,000 on select models.
Don't miss out on the hottest summer sales event. Experience the ultimate water adventure aboard a Godfrey Tri-Tune, an unparalleled service and selection from Iguana Marine Group. Go to iguanamarinegroup.com or any of their 4 convenient locations. Iguana Marine Group, where memories on the water are made. and prep editions and savings based on MSRP.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. It's 11:15, joined every Sunday by the sporting director of St. Louis City SC, and that's Lutz Pfannenstiel. 1 week from today, he is going to be an extra busy man because he will be hosting Austin that night. Welcome to the show once again, Lutz. How are you? Oh, we may have lost Lutz. Did we? Oh, there he is. Lutz, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
There he is. What I was asking, you probably did hear it, or maybe not, but that you had a little bit of a layoff here, but finally we get back to it with MLS matches. And on Sunday, a week from today, when you and I talk, you're going to be a busy man with a game that night.
Yeah, I think, it was a good little break for us, also to get a bit of energy back, but also focus on the last 11 games. We had a good scrimmage away at Atlanta yesterday against one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. I think we're definitely ready and can't wait for next week.
Yeah, how did that go? A 3-3 match, and I know you had a little bit of a wait to get through that one, but how did everybody come out of that?
Yeah, it seems to the thunderstorms, they're following us everywhere. It was not as bad as the last time, so it was only a 45-minute delay. 3-3, Atlanta, very good team. I mean, with Almada, I have a current world champion. With Argentina, just a very good technical team. But we played for 120 minutes, so a little bit longer. So everybody who traveled got a good amount of time, got some minutes. In the end, I think the 3-3 was a fair result. And it was a good preparation for us as well as for Atlanta.
In terms of health, how has this break been for your squad from that standpoint?
Yeah, I think, having started the season or started training in early January, and we worked through the whole time. And I think we saw that in the Leagues Cup that we were a little bit tired. So that break now, I think, gave us an opportunity to regroup, to let the guys also get their mind a little bit away from football for 5-6 days. And they all came back. They worked by themselves. They're burning again to be on the field. And I think the last week in training was very good. So I think the break was really important for us to really focus on the most important competition for us this season, and that's definitely the MLS.
I know you probably all get worn out about us asking about Klaus, but as close as he is, it is starting to get exciting to think that he could be back out there soon.
Yeah, looks very good. I mean, he's training now fully with the team. We still gave him a rest yesterday, but the next week is definitely very important. So it's just around the corner. I can't promise you that we will see him yet against Atlanta, but you never know. Against Austin, but then what's going to happen in the future? I think he's very close now. Everything is healed up properly, and we're very positive that we will see Klaus again very soon in his scoring form.
Lutz Pfannenstiel is with us. You will be taking on Austin on Sunday night. It's an 8:30 start. That crowd will be revved up after all that pre-gaming. And you'll have a match against a team that you actually beat to start the season. Can you take me back to that day? And by the way, I wasn't there. I almost made it down there, but I understand that atmosphere was very good. And you went in and won your first match as an MLS team and did it at Austin. What was that experience like?
Yeah, definitely. One of these special moments, I think, in the club's history. First ever game against a team which finished second last year. So we were the big outsider, the big underdog. And somehow it was the start for us to have an unbelievable first 5 games with 5 wins. Yeah, Austin is a good team. They started bad, but they're now in position 5. They're not that far behind. They definitely also a playoff contender for sure. And to beat them in the first game was good. So, I'm a very superstitious person. And like the week before we played Austin away, we also played a friendly game against Atlanta. So that's why I was very happy to play against Atlanta again a week before the Austin game. And they have players like Diusi, which is one of the top 3-4 players in the league, and they have different makers. So it's again looking at the table. Of course, everybody thinks we are number one. It should be an easy home win, but I think it's far from that. Austin is a team you always have to have on the list of the contenders, and we need to really be at our best and work hard to get a result.
When you look at the job that Bradley Carnell has done, how do you see that? And knowing that it's his first year as a head coach, although he has filled in as an interim coach in New York and spent a lot of time around New York. He knows the league, obviously. But how would you describe the job that he has done to this point?
Yeah, first of all, lots of people always seem to be very surprised about that, and I'm actually not surprised at all. I mean, that was, for me, something which was one of the main reasons, because Bradley knows the football we want to play. He kind of exactly is the guy who can implement our pressing style, our way of play, our philosophy. So, and then I'm not talking about results, and I'm not talking about positions in the table. I'm talking about implementing a philosophy and get the players in 100% to what we do. Work hard for each other and put the team as out there as the superstar. I think that is something what Bradley stands for. What is definitely that what he enjoys the most about football, and that's what he did, and he did it in a great way. It's the whole coaching stuff. Everybody works in the same direction. Everybody clearly follows the way we prepared and we planned already since 3 years, and that we're getting that result. Obviously, it's the hard work on the training field by the coaching staff, especially by Bradley, to be flexible, to be always focused, and especially to motivate the players and keep them going. It's not always easy with so many games to always not just keep the legs fresh, but especially keep the mind fresh, to be out there. And you saw lots of games we played, and our style is very demanding physically. Our style is not easy to contain over 90 minutes. So it's sometimes a very, very thin line. A team gets easily tired, or a team is top fit. So I think that's what the coaching staff did unbelievably well, that we really were competitive from day one. We never give up. We always fight our hardest, and we have a clear style and a clear philosophy, and Bradley did a great job.
Yeah, you wear other teams out, but you can wear yourself out, to your point, with that style. So you have to be able to have a balance there. There's also that working with players who aren't playing and encouraging them that this time around they won't be out there, but they will be the next time. There's a delicate way to handle that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and if you look at the number of players we played, also the numbers of formations, starting 11, we changed. There was not many times we started the same 11. So there was always a very good rotation. And players who some of the fans already forgot about. They stepped up when it was time. Look at the way Josh Yarrow performed when he came on, or also Akil Watts came on. Players who didn't play many minutes or no minutes at all in the first big part of the first part. And when they were really called up, you saw that the mentality, I think, is our secret sauce. Everybody works for each other, and the trust in each other on and off the field is important as well. So it's a lot about also the personalities we have out there, the personalities we see every day on the training field. And then again, the man management, this micromanagement is, I think, extremely important, because if you have 11 happy players and 15 unhappy players, you can't win a single thing. It's all about that everybody is always involved and everybody is valued exactly the same way. Roman Bürki is exactly as much valued as a player who have played only a few minutes. It's all about St. Louis City. It's all about the club. It's all about the team, and it's not about any individual.
Lutz Pfannenstiel is with us for just a few more minutes. You also have still the League's Cup is going, and you're going to have Nashville against CF Monterrey. They're the last remaining Liga MX team in this World Cup style tournament. One of those will be playing in the final, and the other semifinal is the Philadelphia Union, 6:00 Tuesday night, will be hosting Inter Miami. speaking of not being surprised, Messi has taken this league by storm and is showing what he can do. With all of that said, as good as he is, it's still unbelievable. I mean, to watch this unfold, it is pretty amazing. How do you view it?
Oh yeah, I mean, we were really felt it probably the most because we played against Inter Miami one day before Messi actually was officially introduced to the league, and we beat them 3-0, and they didn't really look at a team which was in a great shape, and then with Messi plus of course Busquets and Jordi Alba, it had a massive impact. But just looking at Messi, the way he literally just took the league by himself. It's unbelievable. I mean, along the free kicks, his movement off the ball, the blind understanding with Busquets, it's great to watch. It's fun to watch. And, I really literally inhaled every minute of Inter Miami since Messi is here. Definitely something where we all benefit from a lot, where not just the MLS or the MLS clubs or players, but I think the whole soccer community in the United States and Canada are the big winners of that deal. It's interesting now to see, how Inter Miami will also do in the league. The Leagues Cup is one competition, but the league is something else completely different. And again, Messi will score his goals. Messi will be the best player ever played in the league. That's all fact. But then again, they have to chase a lot. They are very, very far behind the playoff spots. And I'm really curious and even a little bit excited to see if they still can turn this season completely around.
Me too.
I believe they will win the MLS. I'm sure they will win actually one of the two cup competitions where they're still in.
Wow. Yeah, me too. I'm absolutely mesmerized by the whole thing. I think that there's a real chance that they could make a run. But as you mentioned, they're at the bottom of the East right now with 18 points clear at the bottom. You know who's at the top of the West? St. Louis City, 41 points, 11 matches to go. They are the first place team getting ready for a match against Austin FC. Austin is currently tied for fifth with San Jose in the West. We look forward to it. 8:30 Y98 FM. We can't wait, Lutz Van Steel, and thanks for the visit.
Thank you so much.
The sporting director, St. Louis City SC, joining us every Sunday at this time. Great to hear from him. I decided to offer an off day to John Mozeliak, who has been very loyal to the show. He has joined us through tough times this season, pretty much every Sunday, and answered all of our questions. And I offered the off day, and I think he rightfully should take it, and he did. So here we are in an off day on Sunday. The Cardinals are not playing, but we will take your phone calls. We heard Ollie Marmol say he is starting Adam Wainwright, making his next start, which looks like it's going to be Thursday against the Mets. That's where they have him penciled in. Of course, that could change, but he did say he will start for us at home. That is based on his conversation on KMOX with Matt Pauley last hour. We'll take your calls on the Cardinals next at 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900, 800-925-1120. Anything you want to get into with this club, we certainly can in 2024 as well. We're also going to hear from the winner of the APGA Ascension APGA tournament here in St. Louis. That happened last week. And we'll tell you about a big event that is coming to benefit a wonderful organization. That's on the way before we get out of here on Sports on a Sunday Morning. Coming up on 11:30, we're sponsored by Gray Bar. I'm Tom Ackerman, and we'll be right back.
KMOX Enter Service Weekend, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
At Neovitin, our goal is to create safe, dependable multivitamins to support your everyday nutrition when you need it most. That's why Dr. Ribicki formulated Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin with 20 daily ingredients, including B vitamins for energy support, vitamin C for immune support, and our 4-ingredient proprietary blend that you won't find in any other multivitamin. With a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality nutritional support with Neovitin. And as always, a portion of the proceeds from the sale of Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin are donated to the Ribicki Foundation to support pancreatic cancer research. That's nutritional support you can feel good about. Support your best life today with Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin. Available at your local Deerbergs, Schnucks, select independent pharmacies, and online with our easy-to-use monthly subscription at neovitin.com. That's neovitin.com, neovitin.com.
We all have different ideas of the perfect retirement, but they all depend on the same thing: not running out of money. Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group can help you develop a retirement income stream that fits your idea of the perfect retirement. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Can you imagine being a superhero?
With a sidekick?
Can you imagine you can fly?
Your sidekick shows up wherever you are.
In a fancy blue truck.
And whatever you point at disappears.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your sidekick.
We're twitching in anticipation.
Vibrating with energy.
We haul away whatever you point at.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength sidekicks.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Good to have you with us. It's 11:33. We have continued on with sports on a Sunday morning on this off day, a nice day to sort of regroup and talk all kinds of sports. We're going to get back into baseball, but anything else you want to talk about, you can at 314-436-7900. You can call in now, 314-436-7900. Toll free, 800-925-1120. We are live on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and all kinds of things, and I'm looking at some comments there as well, so I will relay those as necessary. Let's go right to the phone calls, though. People have been waiting. This is Jack. You are on KMOX. Great to have you.
Oh, yes. I was just calling in on regarding the Cardinals season.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Don't listen to yourself. Just listen to me in the phone. We're good. Turn your radio down. Yep.
I was just paying attention to the way the season's just unraveling. It's just a shame that it's bad. And I just don't understand, like, there's no leadership. All the players are always played in a different position, sometimes in the outfield.
We just lost him. Okay. Well, let me comment on... No, just turn your radio down if you would, and then I'm going to wait till we get your phone connection established a little bit better, and I'll bring you back in. Let me comment on that. The leadership on this team is there. I think we see a great leader in Nolan Arenado who continues to work with players like Lars Nootbaar to make them better, and I think by example, he and Goldschmidt are great leaders, and that's why the Cardinals had no interest in moving them. They are important pieces for the future of this team to learn how to win the right way. I think that they lost big leaders in Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols, who also served in that role. And I think in particular, the Yadier Molina loss was felt throughout this organization, both on the field and off, both in the dugout and in the bullpen. I mean, everywhere. the Yadier Molina loss was a big one, and to be able to recover and make up for all the things that he did is important to note. I agree with you that I think there has been inconsistency in putting a lineup out on the field. I think that some of that has to do with injury. I think some of that has to do with performance. I think they thought that their starting outfield was going to be Tyler O'Neill, Lars Nootbaar, and Dylan Carlson. As it turns out, they had injuries right away, and they had to adjust, and they brought in Jordan Walker to start. He had a great spring training. Then they sent him away to the minors to work on things, brought him right back, and he's been learning on the job and actually looks really good doing it. I think in the infield, you have so many infielders. Paul DeYoung's playing at shortstop. Now he's with the Blue Jays, but he was playing a lot. Not a great defensive player, adequate. Not a great offensive player, but with power. And they just plugged him in there because, again, they're dealing with a lot of different players all at once. Edman had to go out and play center field just to get the center field job locked down, get somebody out there who could play it. They had second base. Gorman's there, but Gorman against lefties early on, they didn't love that. Then they started to bring in him more against lefties, and now he's proven that he can hit pretty much everybody. He's grown into the job. Donovan's hurt, out for the year, so that clarifies a couple of things in the middle infield, but he is a player who you can play a whole bunch. And then on top of all that, you have Mason Wynn coming, and Wynn's got to play shortstop and play it all the time. So to me, if he's going to start at shortstop next year, you have some decisions to make on what your middle infield is going to look like. I am with you on this one in that I think that the Cardinals would benefit from having a regular lineup playing every day together. I know that, we all talk about flexibility and depth, but that's in case of a problem. To me, I have a regular lineup and a regular offensive and defensive alignment that I'm rolling with. And the Cardinals, unfortunately, had so many moving parts this year and injuries that they could never capture that regular lineup, even at catcher. I mean, Wilson Contreras was pulled out of there for a period of time and then back in. Thank goodness for Andrew Kisner being ready to go because Ivan Herrera wasn't. But now here comes Herrera. He's starting to hit and starting to look the part. So what do you do with him? So they have some decisions absolutely to make about what they're going to look like consistently. But we all know that that's not the big problem with this team. The big problem with this team was they didn't have pitching, and they didn't have starting pitching, and their bullpen gave games away. If the bullpen doesn't blow that many saves, I got to tell you, they might still be in this thing with some of the blown games that they had. If you add those up, they're a lot closer than you think, as rough as this has been. Let's go to, who else you got? Jim? Let's go to Jim on KMOX. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
How's it going?
Great.
I want to talk about Mizzou football. I think a lot of people are going to be very surprised by what they've got. I think they've been really, really upgrading their recruiting. I think with these new coaches are coming in with a much higher caliber of recruit, and I think they really return a team that's going to be deep. I don't like the idea of Brady Cook starting this year because I've seen so many SEC players when they're in their sophomore, junior year, they start coming of age and they start doing things they didn't do so well as freshmen. He's going to get a big push from Sam Horn and Jake Garcia, but I think Brady Cook will be the starter. I think they're solid at running back, and they've just got a lot of linemen, offense and defense, that can really play SEC football. So I'm not going to be surprised, especially in the first half of the schedule. It's not really difficult. The second half is a killer. But I think if they can win all the games in the first half, I think they'll be bowl bound this year.
I think it's a good assessment, Jim. I mean, I like their coaching staff. I think that they have some good up-and-coming coordinators. I think they have a very good defensive unit, really, overall. I think their defense is good. I think it's one of the best in the SEC, actually. And if Cook does start at quarterback, I'm good with that. Experience, stability. Don't turn the ball over and make mistakes. That's what you want. As enticing as Sam Horn's arm is, I think you want to see somebody with some SEC experience get the job done. And by the way, I'd like to see how he does under the new coordinator, Kirby Moore. And I would like to see with the wide receivers that he has to work with, what that's going to look like. Luther Burden in the slot, Theo Weiss on the outside and maybe going inside and outside and wherever he wants. He was a great recruit to Oklahoma, but just stalled for whatever reason in their offense and injuries as well. But I think they've got a shot to score some points. I do think they're going to keep teams somewhat reasonably at bay. I think their defense is pretty darn good. So, and not to mention they have one of the better kickers in the league. So, they do have a chance to keep these games close and tight, and we'll see what comes out of it. I appreciate the phone call. Who else is there, Drew? Is there another one there? Joe?
Yeah, we got Joe.
Let's go to Joe. We had Jack, Jim, and Joe. Got to start with a J on this show. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment about the Cardinals this past season. In a lot of ways, I think the season, all we heard of is about Wainwright's 200 victories. Who cares about Wainwright's 200 victories? You're going to throw him out there every 5 days and let him get blasted? What effect does that have on the rest of the team? It's a downer. It's a morale loss to see him go to play. Friday night, how many runs did he get up in the first inning?
Yeah, too many. Yep.
9. I think it's time for him to go now. And if he was a man like everybody thinks he was, why didn't he go out with Pujols and Yachty last year instead of staying for this next season?
All right. Well, you don't have to threaten the guy's manhood if he was a man. I mean, come on. So because he wants to keep playing and thought that he still had it, I will agree that I personally would rather see him if he's going to get 200. I'd like to see it the easy way. He won't like it. And it sounds like Ollie Marmol, well, it doesn't sound like Ollie Marmol just said on KMOX last hour that he's going to start him again. So brace yourselves for that. And if he can get through it, that would be amazing. I mean, I'd be all for it. He's one of the greatest Cardinals of all time. If it were me, I might give him an easier route, and I would have somebody like Zach Thompson or someone else start the game, get him a possible lead, and then put him in there and let him work maybe the middle of the game, because it seems like early in the games he's getting lit up. And, I think he said himself the other day that he's just hot coming out. Perhaps it would benefit him to come in, crowd roars, he comes in, gets the love that he deserves. Maybe he works a couple of innings, gets himself in position for the win. But again, he won't like that because, he's Wainwright. Hold on. So he's pushing forward. He's trying to be the vintage Adam Wainwright one more time. He still believes that he can do it one more time and take it down the stretch. So we're just going to have to deal with it and live with that decision, because that's the way it is. They're not going to win. They're not going to make the postseason. So they're letting the guy finish out the way he wants to finish out. I will add that, it doesn't always end in a storybook fashion for everybody. Baseball does not care what you have done. Baseball is an unforgiving sport that will beat you down and will expose you in the end, unless your name is Albert Pujols. That's the exception to the rule. But Bob Gibson had a tough end to his career. Willie Mays had a tough end to his career. You can go right down the line, and it is happening to Adam Wainwright. I do hope that he can capture some magic and do it, because I think we all really like him. How's that? Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back and have much more Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. We're sponsored by Gray Bar. It's great to be along with you. I know we may have a few other callers too, but I do have to take a break. Back in just a moment. Hang on. We may get to you right after this.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Hey, Debbie Monterey here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's market. Call Gloria Liu. She'll tell you. With 20 plus years of experience, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty has been successfully selling homes in your area for more money than the average agent. Gloria has multiple selling options that give you, the seller, the power of how and when your home is sold. A few of Gloria's options include bringing multiple cash offers from her substantial pool of investors, a zero commission program, and don't forget Gloria's guaranteed sale program. How can Gloria guarantee the sale of your home? Because Gloria's database of buyers is huge, and she's so confident that she can sell your home that she can put her own money where her mouth is. So just call Gloria today, your local St. Louis real estate expert, at 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Teammates thought future Hall of Famer Jerry Kelly was nuts hanging up his glove to start a heating and air company, till they called.
Thanks for calling, Jerry Kelly, the right man for the job.
And reached 10-year-old Jill Kelly wearing jammies in the kitchen. Jerry knows talent, they'd say, and knows it don't mean nothing without love. From Jill to today's award-winning teams, Jerry knew talent multiplied by real love and hard work, that's a grand slam.
Thanks for calling, Jerry Kelly.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Hey, while I have your attention and before we get back to the calls, I do want to mention that there's a great event that's near and dear to my heart, if you would just give me a minute here to talk about it, and that is UCP Heartland. You probably know my great friend Andrew Price, who goes to UCP just about every day. United Cerebral Palsy. He is, if not KMOX's number one listener, he's in the photo, as Tony La Russa would say. And they're having a great event that is called the Wing Ding. It is happening at the factory, and you can go to thefactorystl.com to learn more about it. You can go to ucpheartland.org to learn more about it. It is the Wing Ding, and it is happening here in St. Louis, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The Wing Ding is a wing, not eating contest. It is a wing tasting contest, let's say. We have some incredible restaurants that are coming out to join all of the great folks at UCP, all of our judges. I'll be one of those. I'm going to help MC the festivities, and it's going to be on Tuesday, September 12th at 6 o'clock at the factory. The factory is phenomenal in Chesterfield, great concert venue, and they are hosting the Wing Ding, which I hope you support. UCP. Come out, buy a few tickets, take your friends, have some beers, eat some wings, talk some ball with me, just like Mike is going to. Mike, you are on KMOX. Great to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Tom. First, can you send some of that cooler weather to Sarasota?
Is it blazing down there?
I'm walking right now, and I'm about to keel over, but I'll try to get my comment out here. It's hot. So that caller, I did a 180 on the Adam Wainwright thing within the last hour as I was listening to the program and some of the comments from folks. And that last gentleman, with all due respect, to question Wainwright's manhood is just appalling. He's done so much for the organization. This season is a lost cause. A lot of things happen. Everybody's frustrated. I think that he ought to go out on his own terms. He should be able to take the ball whenever he feels he's able and give him a shot at doing the 200 wins. And I just think this organization owes it to him. He's been loyal for a long time. Remember the Beltran strikeout back in the day and all the starts that helped us win another World Series. And I really think we owe it to him. And I think he's the type of guy that if he feels like he's going to be a detriment to the team, he's not going to go out there. So let him make that decision. And if he wants to go out, give him the ball.
I think it's a good thought, and stay cool down there in Sarasota, Mike. I really, really like Adam Wainwright, and I just want the best for him, and I would love to have him get that 200 and go out with a smile and one last time get the love and roar from Busch Stadium. They're going to give it to him whether he gets 200 or not, but I don't want to see him go out, with a frown and being sad. I want him to see him finish strong, and I totally understand why people are irritated, but at the same time, like as just mentioned, now the season is not going to turn around. So have some fun with it and hope that he can recapture something. Look, if it were me, I'd it's not cheating. It's, just get him a quicker path, an easier path to 200 by having an opener and then put him in. He could get cheered on when he walks onto the mound and off. I don't know. I mean, have a little fun with it, but that doesn't sound like that's going to happen. But I will say that, we don't really get to say how players end their careers. Yeah, the player does. I know that when Michael Jordan hit the shot against the Utah Jazz and then retired, that it was like, yes, that's it, the storybook ending. And when he came back and joined the Wizards, everybody's like, huh? The Wizards? What? This is wrong. This isn't right. What do you mean it's not right? He wants to play basketball. Who cares? Let him finish it. He's earned that. I remember Emmitt Smith playing for the Cardinals, and people are like, oh, it doesn't look right. Well, you're not Emmitt Smith. He wants to finish a certain way. The player wants to finish a certain way. It's not us I know we all want the story, but it's not really us to determine how a player should finish his or her career. I don't know if I have time for another one because I got to get to this interview. So I apologize for the rest of the callers who have been waiting. But I do want to highlight something as we leave you today, and that is the APGA. What they are doing to grow diversity in the game of golf is something very special. They held the Ascension APGA tournament here in St. Louis, and KMOX's Dan Reardon was there. And he filed this interview with the wire-to-wire winner.
Chase Johnson, a chance to visit with you on KMOX, the winner of the APGA Ascension Classic here in St. Louis, 11 under par total. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Earlier this year, you rode the shipping tournament into the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit. Mm-hmm. How much of a magnet was the fact that this is a tour exemption in terms of coming to St. Louis?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always nice when you get to play a fantastic event in itself, and then you have the bonus of getting the PGA Tour exemption. So this week was incredible, and it was nice to kind of bring the same energy I brought the shipping to the Ascension this week.
You play a 36-hole event on a 6,500-yard course. Is this almost like drag racing in terms of golf? This is pedal to the metal all the way through the 2 days?
100%. The course is fantastic. It was in great shape this week. But if you're driving it well, you definitely have the ability to score. But if you're off by a little bit, you can really get penalized out here. So it was really nice that I was able to drive it well, and short game was pretty good. And I missed a lot of putts this week, but fortunately it was enough to make enough to get it done.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the defenses that a course of this short has?
The greens are very slopey out here, so you have to be on the correct side, which then you have to place your ball off the tee in the correct spot to give yourself the best angle to use the slopes on the green. So like the slightest miscalculation and you can be on defense for the entire hole. And you just have to place it from the tee to start.
Essentially, you go wire to wire. I think your first bogey is the 27th hole, I think, that you have your first bogey. Do you know your position in the field as you're playing this? Are you able to use your phone or track what you're doing?
We are, but I never look at my phone. I usually only ever check on the 18th hole because my mindset and my game plan doesn't change. I'm a very aggressive player, and my goal is to make birdies. And especially when I start the day off with a lead, the more birdies I make, it's going to be harder for people to catch me. So I just stay patient, play my own game, and try and make as many as possible. And then on the last hole, I usually kind of take a look coming down to see where we're at.
And I mentioned Rocket Mortgage, and that was your first cut on the PGA Tour. And we talked about racing through this kind of golf course over 2 days. How much of a change in philosophy or management if you're playing over a 4-day tournament potentially?
Honestly, the game plan for me personally stays the same. Every round, my ultimate goal in my head is every hole for however many holes I played, I want to have at least half that many birdies. So my goal every round is to try to make at least 9 birdies. Whether that happens or not, hit or miss, but same thing in a 4-day event. And that's especially at events like Rocket Mortgage, when you see Tony Finau set like a tournament record last year, Ricky won this year at 24 under in a 3-way playoff. So just because it's 4 days, the pedal to the metal doesn't change.
And then a final question for you. It's sort of an odd question. What, from playing in PGA Tour events, I mean, there's a huge world of difference between playing in an APGA event and the PGA Tour. What is one thing about playing in a PGA Tour event that people wouldn't know that you discovered?
Patience and just being clean. Like, you don't have to play great, but when you keep the bogeys off the card and just take care of business and do the things you're supposed to do. Like for bombers, you take care of the fives, you handle your par threes and make pars on them, and then you're going to make 1 or 2 birdies on the fours. And when you think about it that way, that usually leads to 400 to 600 rounds pretty easily. So those guys just do a really good job of keeping it simple.
Chase Johnson, I'll congratulate you. I know for an event like this, you hope not to be back as a reigning champion because you want to be someplace else, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Chase Johnson, the winner of the Ascension APGA tournament at Glen Echo. Thanks to KMOX's Dan Reardon for that. Really nice interview there and a really great organization. Really, really special. Colin Morikawa, who has some background and has roots in Lahaina, has pledged that he will donate $1,000 each time he makes a birdie for Hawaii fires relief in Maui. That is pretty cool. Our producer, Drew Young, just drew my attention to that. Appreciate that. Colin Morikawa is donating. I hope that others do the same. And I hope that we do keep Maui and the people in Lahaina in our thoughts, because I'm sure you're aware of this by now with all of the coverage, but it is not a wealthy area. Wealthy vacationers go there, yes, but it is mostly in poverty to begin with. They didn't have resources to begin with, and now they have over 80 people dead in Maui and Lahaina, and people are desperate. They are scrambling. Please help them. Thanks for joining us. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Enjoy your off day. Go do something fun. We'll catch up with you tomorrow when the Cardinals take on the Oakland A's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you've been injured, you only get one chance in court. One chance to protect your family and for